Trump was a very grumpy boy because on Fox, they dared to air any interviews or viewpoint, rarely, but in this case they did, that contradicts Trump's and that kind of exposes his argument amid the whole government shutdown issue. So this was Democratic Senator Mark Kelly on Fox with Peter Doocy or Doug Ducey or something.
I think Peter.
Is it Peter?
I think so.
Peter. Okay, good. Great. So, Ducey, and he has Mark Kelly on, and Mark Kelly goes against what Trump is lying about with the shutdown, and then I'll show you Trump's response.
Are you going to vote with Republicans to reopen the government?
Well, if we could reopen the government and bring down these costs, absolutely. Nobody wants to see the government shut down. I mean, we know what happens when people don't get their paychecks. We get that. But let me tell you a quick story about a woman in Arizona, in Prescott. Her name's Robin. I spoke to her last week. She's on a fixed income. She's 60 years old. She's a fifth-generation American. She said to me, she says, why are they making this about immigrants? This isn't about immigrants. This is about me. Now, she pays $250 a month on the ACA, on the exchange, for her health care. But she gets around $9,000 in those premium tax credits. She is expecting, if we do not act on this, that is going to go away. And she says she will not be able to afford health care anymore. So this, Peter, this is about real people who are going to see the price of health care skyrocket.
And you're talking about the price of health care and immigrants. The heart of the disagreement seems to be that Republicans do not think that illegal immigrants should have access to taxpayer-funded health insurance.
And they don't.
So the Democratic position, your official position here, is that illegal immigrants should not have any access to taxpayer-funded health insurance. Does that include federal and state?
Well, the federal law is that undocumented individuals do not have access to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, even the Affordable Care Act. That's the law. So this is a red herring from my Republican colleagues. They don't want to, help folks out because they needed that money. And this should be pretty simple for people to understand. When they gave that extension of the 2017 tax cuts, which helped out the richest Americans, it was partially paid for by taking away Medicaid and taking away these ACA tax credits for people who just can't afford health care.
Perfectly said. Yeah. He is a politician. He's going to argue a political point, and the political point he happens to be arguing here is correct and aligned with the facts. And the people he's arguing against are being very dishonest. And I'm not even going to try to get back into my rant about their lie, because both times I tried, the segments turned 30 minutes. Weird. But see those segments if you want more specificity on where they're getting that claim from, why it's not honest, and some fun hypotheticals about me meeting someone in Poland. But Trump responded to this with, why is Fox News and Peter Doocy putting on Democrat Senator Mark Kelly to talk about totally unabated or challenged healthcare? The fake spin is so bad for Republicans that it's hard to believe that we win. It will be very unfair in the future when they don't have Trump to fight for them. Therefore, we should fix it now. I'm watching this interview. It just doesn't end. Fox should either get on board or get off board now. But at this point, it just doesn't make any difference to me. They suck up the ratings because of us and then spin them in the Democrats' direction. They refuse to put up polls that correctly show me at 65% in popularity, a Republican record. But if I have a fake bad poll, many of which are done by Fox, one of the worst pollsters out there is the Fox News poll. They put them up immediately and with gusto. Republicans are so tired of this fight with Fox, always trying to be so politically correct. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So quite the rageful ramble.
I get angry!
Yeah, but it's so indicative of the thinnest skin when wall-to-wall coverage on Fox, with 3 to 4 minute exceptions sometimes, is pro-Trump propaganda. We covered on, I think it was a bonus show, a Fox host advocating for Trump to get the Employee of the Year Employee of the Month award when he worked at McDonald's during the 2024 campaign for a photo shoot, and she's still thinking about how epic that was, and that was the best thing, like Piers Morgan said, the best thing ever in politics. And that's what they're running on Fox. But then, of course, occasionally they have to invite on someone with a different opinion. I guess they don't have to, but they feel like it is necessary in some way. And Trump loses it, and most likely they're going to pull back. We're not going to have Mark Kelly on again. Did y'all see that one of Trump's former spiritual, if you're thinking, why does Trump, when he talks about spirituality, seem so disconnected from spirituality? Why does he seem to know nothing about his own? Why does he not seem spiritual? Why does he lie about that? Right? Well, maybe it comes down to who his spiritual advisors are. One of his, who has been described as that, here you can see getting arrested. And if we dive into why he was arrested here, you can take that down. Let's see. What was this about? Robert Morris, the founder of a Texas megachurch with one of the nation's largest congregations, pleaded guilty on Thursday to sexually abusing a girl in the 1980s. Sickening stuff. And I haven't heard a word from anyone in the MAGA world about that. Here is this guy, Morris, with Trump and with Eric. You know, just to take a break from how serious this is, he looks a little bit like a bloated Eric Trump. Kind of look. He looks a little bit like an allergy attack Eric Trump. That's kind of interesting. But obviously really sick what he did. And so then that leaves, now he's out. That leaves standing Trump's sole spiritual advisor, Paul the White.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
That is really, get your ego under control. Where I stand is holy.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God, and I won't do that.
That is word for word how she defends him from the Epstein files. Okay, that's today's show. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Talk to you next time.